Hi everyone! In today's video we're going to be talking about consonants in Spanish. Now the Spanish alphabet has 27 letters and nearly every one of those letters makes a unique sound. So it's not going to be productive for us to go through each and every letter in the Spanish alphabet and talk about the sound it makes. Particularly because many letters in the Spanish alphabet make either the exact same sound as they do in English or a relatively similar sound. However, there are certain sounds in Spanish that English speakers tend to have a lot of trouble with. This is because these sounds either don't exist in the English language or are represented by different letters in English than they are in Spanish. So let's jump right into the deep end and start talking about some of the hardest sounds to pronounce in Spanish. Two of the sounds that English speakers tend to have the most trouble with are the ones that correspond to the letter R, roughly, in the English language. The first, the ere, is actually made by flapping your tongue against the roof of your mouth once. Now in English, if you pronounce the word car or run, and you pay attention to what your tongue does, it comes close to touching the roof of your mouth. It raises up in your mouth, but it never actually touches the roof of your mouth. The ere makes a sound more analogous to the sound we make when we pronounce the word butter in English. That ra 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 sound that's made from your tongue flapping against the roof of your mouth. Ra ra, butter. Spanish has a lot of words that use this letter. For example, the word pero, which means but, and the word para, which means for, among many, many, many others. The other sound that corresponds to the R is the trilled or rolled R, often represented by a double R in Spanish orthography. Words that include this sound are correr, which means to run, and agarrar, which means to grab. And this sound is made in a similar fashion by putting your tongue against the roof of your mouth, but instead of just flapping once, you hold it there and expel air from your mouth, causing your tongue to trill. Now, both of these R sounds are pretty difficult for English speakers to master at first, so don't feel bad if you have trouble pronouncing them. This letter right here is called jota. Jota can make a couple of different sounds, but both of them roughly approximate the H sound in English. Depending on the dialect, it can either be pronounced ha, as it is in Mexico, Central America, Venezuela, and Colombia, or ja, as it's pronounced in certain parts of Spain and in Argentina. So if this sound makes the H sound, what about the letter H? Well, the letter H is actually always silent in Spanish. That's why we pronounce the words hablar and hermano the way we do and not hablar or hermano. This simply isn't right because in Spanish, the H is always silent. Words that include the jota are words like julio and jamás. Julio meaning July and jamás meaning never ever. Hablar includes the H sound, but you can hear that it's not actually articulated. And the same is true for the word hacer, which means to make. The letter Z, called zeta in Spanish, tends to cause problems for English speakers because it's actually always pronounced just like the letter S. It's not zeta, it's zeta. That's why words like zapato, which means shoe, is pronounced like that, zapato, and not zapato. The word cazar, which means to hunt, is also pronounced with an S sound, cazar, not cazar. Another often mispronounced letter, or pair of letters I should say, is the double L. Now, in English, the double L says la, right? Just like a single L. However, in Spanish, when an L is doubled, it makes a y sound, just like the letter Y. This sound, and represented by two L's, can be found in the words calle, which means street, and muelle, which means a dock. The little squiggly over this N is called a tilde, and it changes the sound of the letter N from N to Ñ. This letter can be found in words such as mañana, which means tomorrow, and piña, which means pineapple. The last letter we're going to talk about today is the letter X. And this letter can be tricky simply because it has two different possible pronunciations depending on context. So in certain words, like Mexico, which means Mexico, it's pronounced like a letter H would be in English. However, in other contexts, such as in the word excelente, which you guessed it means excellent, it's pronounced exactly like the X would be in English. Thanks so much for tuning in to today's video, and we hope you enjoyed it and that you got a lot out of it. In our next video, we're going to be talking about greetings and goodbyes in the Spanish language. Take care, everyone. Until next time.